So, Petra, nice to have you here. You're at SICS Västerås.
Yeah.
And you're a senior researcher there, and you spend time in a lot of workplaces worrying about people's health and well-being.
Yeah, no, but we think that, of course, all workplaces should have a really nice atmosphere that makes people happy and productive at the same time. So that's what we're doing a lot of different projects about.
You certainly always struck me as very happy and productive. So what's the secret to
Yeah,
get there?
I think one thing is to have a really good atmosphere and, of course, really nice colleagues. So, of course, it's interaction also. If you are nice to people, they will be nice to you and you will have more fun. And also there's a lot of research saying that actually if you have fun, you get much better ideas also. So there's lots to gain.
So how much is in the person-to-person chemistry and how much is in the, let's say, corporate culture of the company you work at?
I don't know actually the percentage, but I would say that there's a lot more to gain in thinking about the group as a whole. I mean, the culture in the company, because people also change, of course. So, I mean, you can get a positive spiral or a negative spiral depending on how you behave and what you promote, and if you give positive feedback or if you only, which is very easy for humans and for engineers to focus on, here is something that's wrong, now we need to fix it. And if you present something, you say, oh, that's very good, but this, you need to change. And if you always do that, you will not have the positive spiral. So that's also something that we're trying to change the attitude about.
How much stability do you think is needed then in the workplace? Because if you do a lot of changes, management changes, middle managers, or there's this idea or meme almost that middle managers are always the trouble. I mean, those are the ones that are responsible if the workplace is not functioning.
Yeah, well, I would say that there is something that we see in the data that we collect. I mean, if there has been layoffs or if you changed the organization, you need to give people some time to adjust before you start something new. And in some industries, I know that the pace of transformation is actually too large. And I think it's very hard to get more efficient by changing the organization. I mean, every 6 months, you will not give people the time to adjust and to get back to being productive, because they are all focused on trying to understand the new situation and trying to form new relationships with new teams and new managers, and even knowing where to go and what your title is. And so you need to give people some space, definitely.
And you're doing this in a reasonably quantitative way, it seems, because you're looking at data. What sort of data is it that you're using to understand?
Yeah, we're using a cloud-based tool to collect the data. So basically, people in a team, for instance, get an email each week, and then they get straight into an online survey, which has 10 questions, which are 10 success factors identified in the literature. So we base it on research, even from the start. And then they evaluate on a scale. So
is it self-assessment?
Yeah, it's self-assessment. And then we use that data for the team. So if there's more than 4 people that have answered, you will get kind of an overview of the group situation. So you can't see any individual results, but you see kind of overall status. And what we like to focus a lot is about the trend. So, I mean, people evaluate differently, depends on personality and other things, but the trend always tells you something. If everyone is reporting that it's a worse situation, then something has happened, and then you need to act to make it.
So let's say there is one of these downward spirals at the workplace, and you can see it, you can identify it through data as a trend. Who is looking at this trend and who can do something about it? Who do you share this information with, and who?
Yeah, so the individual gets a direct feedback. So they have their own data and can look at trends, and all the information is for them too. But on the group level, it's the project manager that gets kind of an overview that they can share with the team. So they get the data, and we have different organizations. Some use it only on team level, some also use it, you know, like the matrix organization, so also the line manager, which are usually interested in kind of like how is the workplace right now. They can also see a different view, so all the people that belong to their department. what is the status there. So we can cut the data in different ways. So that's also really nice. And look at, maybe there's a specific role. Maybe the architects in the organization have high pressure and very fragmented, and you need to do something about that. So that's also interesting to look at different roles and different parts of the organization.
A long time ago, ASEA merged with Brown Boveri. This was two very different cultures, so there have been many case studies into how these two companies merged into one. Is it something that's still part of Västerås and the region, that you remember this, or do you have any other comments to how it can affect people in a workplace when two really different cultures sort of clash?
I think it can have a lot of impact, but I also see it on a really much more smaller level. I mean, if you have a team that's really stable and then you get 2 new members, in a way you have to start all over again also to gain the trust and to get to know each other and how to relate to each other in order for everyone to be productive and be able to do their stuff. So I think that you could see that on many different levels. But of course, if you combine 2 companies with different cultures, it will take a while to get it stable again and to find a new culture that suits both. And then if you have different power structures, then it will of course be more complicated.
And you always have these power structures, don't you?
Of course.
But sometimes they are very visible and sometimes less so. Yes. Yeah. So you're also spinning off or spinning out. Some researchers have turned this into a startup. Yeah. Can you tell us anything more about what's going on?
Actually, it started as one of my colleagues have done research on this for a long time, and then we created this tool, and we also made some different applications. So one is about projects, and one is about innovation climate, and then we also now develop one for agile methodology. And as it turned out, not everyone wanted to be part of our research discussions and so on. So they said, we want the tool, but we don't want you. We just want to have the tool. We think it's good. So then we decided that, of course, why not? So there is a startup now, and it's going very well. So we have lots of new clients and in different kinds of industry, but also municipalities and other types. So it's not just industry anymore, because what we realized was that kind of like the success factors for a project have nothing to do with technology. They have about, are you motivated? Are you fragmented? Do you get the support you need from your boss? That's valuable for all teams, I would say. So. And
it seems that those questions are almost global, so there is nothing that binds this company or your research to Sweden, say?
No. We have, in the research projects, we also have, one of our new projects is an EIT project, and that's a European project. But also in the clients and in the research projects, we have for instance, India and China and Norway and Italy, and so we have people trying it out. Almost all over the globe, I think. So that's also fun, but it's a lot different. When we work in research projects, we are very close, and we want to get close to the projects to be able to also detect how well it matches and when we should signal things through the tool and when to take a step back. And the users that only use the online version, of course, then they set us up for a test.
Yeah. So do you spend time validating and checking the impact of your own tool, and you have functionality in place because it's always tricky, isn't it, to know what the actual impact, what depends on your work and what depends on other factors. Yeah,
exactly. That's really hard. So we have done those evaluations, and in the project version we try to do it every time a project ends. When it's finished, to get that kind of data in. And then we also look, of course, on the technological side, we look at, for instance, do they see all the things you can get through the tool? We have feedback, for instance, with some recommendations and inspirational video and so on. And there we could see, almost no one ever goes there, so probably they don't find it, and some are not interested. So that's something that we're working on all the time. And then we have also seen that one of the most important factors, which is not so surprising, is that you get feedback, not only from the tool, but from the project manager, for instance. So if the project manager doesn't give feedback, they don't get so much out from the tool. And I think that's, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but it's something that we also need to communicate. The importance of that and how you can do it. It turns out that some people think that's pretty scary to ask your team, why does it look like this? What has happened? Even though why is always the most powerful question you can use.
Yes, quite. So if anyone is interested in finding out more about your research and the spin-off company, where should they go? Yeah,
we have lots of information actually on the SICS website. So you can look at proactability project. And proactability, being proactive. And then also we have the Printed Wellbeing project. Which is also at the SICS website. But then, of course, you can look at the actual tool if you go to prindit.com, and that's the same name as the spin-off.
Thank you very much. Good luck with both spin-off and research.
Thank you.